A young boy eagerly awaited his summer vacation each year because it meant he could spend time with his beloved grandfather. His grandfather was a wise and kind man who always had fascinating stories to share and valuable lessons to teach. One summer, as they played together under the warm sun, the boy curiously looked up at his grandfather and said, "Grandpa, when I grow up, I want to be a successful man. Can you tell me how to achieve success?" His grandfather smiled gently, nodding as if he had been expecting this question. Instead of answering right away, he took the boy by the hand and led him to a nearby nursery. There he carefully selected 2 small saplings, paid for them, and brought them home. The boy watched curiously as his grandfather planted one sapling inside a sturdy clay pot and placed it inside the house, safely tucked away from the harsh elements. The second sapling, however, was planted outside in the open yard where it would be exposed to sunlight, wind, and rain. After finishing the task, the grandfather dusted off his hands and turned to the boy. "Now tell me," he asked, "which of these 2 plants do you think will grow better and stronger in the future?" The boy thought for a moment, tapping his chin before answering with confidence. "The one inside the house. It will be safe from storms, strong winds, animals, and any other dangers that could harm it. The one outside will have to face so many challenges. It might not even survive." His grandfather simply smiled and said, "Let's wait and see." As the years passed, the boy grew older, learning new things and facing his own small challenges in school and life. 4 years later, he once again visited his grandfather. This time, he was even more eager to seek the wisdom he had been promised. "Grandpa, last time I asked you how to be successful, but you never gave me a direct answer. This time, you have to tell me," he insisted playfully. His grandfather chuckled warmly. "Of course, but first, let's take a look at the plants we planted years ago." He led the boy inside the house where the first plant had been placed in a pot. The boy observed that while it had grown, it remained small and confined within the limits of the pot. It was a decent-sized plant, but its growth was restricted. Then his grandfather took him outside. There the boy's eyes widened in amazement. The tiny sapling they had planted in the open yard had now transformed into a mighty tree. Its branches stretched wide, providing shade to everyone beneath it, its roots deeply anchored in the ground. Birds had built their nests in its branches, and it stood tall, unshaken by the wind. "Now tell me," his grandfather said, "which of the 2 plants grew more? Which one do you think is stronger and more successful?" The boy hesitated, but eventually admitted, "The one outside." "But I don't understand, Grandpa. That tree faced so many challenges, storms, strong winds, animals, yet it grew bigger and stronger than the one inside. How is that possible?" His grandfather's eyes gleamed with wisdom as he placed a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. "That's exactly what I wanted to show you, my son. The plant inside the house was protected from harm, but that also meant it never had the chance to stretch its roots freely. It never had to fight against strong winds or endure the heat of the sun. It remained comfortable but limited. On the other hand, the plant outside faced hardships every single day. It struggled against storms, endured heavy rains, and withstood the scorching sun. But with each challenge, it grew stronger. The wind forced its roots to dig deeper into the soil, making it stable. The sun helped it grow taller and broader. The struggles it faced were not obstacles. They were the very things that made it grow into a mighty tree." The boy listened intently, absorbing every word. His grandfather continued, "Life is no different. If you always seek comfort and avoid challenges, you might remain safe, but you won't grow to your full potential. Success isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about facing them, learning from them, and growing stronger with each one. Every hardship you encounter is an opportunity to grow, just like the tree. The more challenges you overcome, the stronger and more successful you will become." The boy took a deep breath, turning his gaze back to the towering tree. For the first time, he truly understood what his grandfather was teaching him. He realized that the very obstacles he feared were actually the stepping stones to his success. As he stood there looking at the tree swaying gently in the breeze, he knew that he had just learned one of the most valuable lessons of his life. The road to success was not paved with comfort and ease, but with trials and challenges that shaped and strengthened a person. Life, he realized, was like a grand adventure, filled with twists, turns, and hurdles that might seem like roadblocks. But in reality, they were opportunities, much like the challenges in a game that made it exciting. Without those challenges, there would be no growth, no progress, no victory. He turned to his grandfather with a newfound determination in his eyes. "I understand now, Grandpa. I won't run away from challenges. I'll face them, learn from them, and grow stronger, just like the tree." His grandfather nodded approvingly, his heart swelling with pride. "That's the spirit, my boy. Never see obstacles as enemies. See them as the very things that will make you great. The choice is always yours. Stay comfortable and small like the plant in the pot, or embrace challenges and grow tall like the tree outside. The world is full of opportunities, but only those who are willing to push through the struggles will rise above the rest." The boy smiled, feeling a newfound sense of courage and ambition. He knew that from that day forward he would no longer fear difficulties, but welcome them as a part of his journey to success. And so, with his grandfather's words etched in his heart, he left that day not just as a boy, but as someone ready to embrace the world and all its challenges, knowing that each struggle was a chance to grow, to rise, and to become something greater than he ever imagined.